to KwaZulu-Natal, where the agricultural sector in that province was hardest hit by last year's floods, and farmers say load shedding has exacerbated their woes. Premier Nomusa Dube-Ncube, together with the Agriculture MEC, Zuma, will today launch the Yellow Plant program aimed at assisting farmers. Newzroom Afrika's Nobuhle Modise is there for us to tell us exactly how this initiative will work. Good morning, Nobuhle.
Good morning, Judu. We are in Mandeni at the moment, where the program was meant to kick off at 9. But as you've mentioned, the Premier of the province, Nomusa Dube-Ncube, as well as the MEC for Agriculture, who's newly appointed, Zuma, will be hosting a sort of indaba with farmers in the area to also address a lot of issues that they've had of late, including those floods that happened in April, as well as stock theft, and the big one, which is load shedding. Just a few days ago, we were actually in the presence of the MEC for Agriculture, where he was hosting a meet and greet and just speaking, giving us an outline of what they're planning to do, as a department for the province, especially with farmers. And on the same day, we did manage to visit a farmer who unfortunately suffered a huge loss following those floods in April. And she says that when those floods happened, she was able to slowly come back, although production was slowed down. She is in poultry farming, and she says she was able to slowly come back. But what the straw that broke the camel's back was essentially load shedding, and she says that is something that is beyond her control. And as a poultry farmer, she needs infrared lighting. She needs to warm some of the chicken coops. So she had a lot of problems that stemmed initially from the flooding, but she says that wasn't something that was that big. She was able to recover from that. But then when load shedding hit, that was one of a major problem. And she mentioned to us that, when the flooding did happen, she was visited by different people from the agricultural department, including from national. She says that Minister Modise was also one of the officials that came over and visited 2 of her farms that were badly hit by those floods. And she says following that visit, or after 15 visits or so for many officials, nothing had been said. And she was saying that she's quite despondent about, the sector and how it is that the government is willing to help them, because she says to date she hasn't received any sort of help, and she's had to close down operations and has unfortunately had to let go about 15 employees who depended on her solely for an income. I'm actually joined by the MEC of Agriculture, Zuma, just to take us through the program for the day as well, and just to speak to him about what are they planning to do as a department to assist farmers who are, number one, badly hit by flooding, and those who were affected by load shedding, on top of the other issues that they are expected to unpack today. Thank you very much for joining us, MEC. Just speak to us about the program of the day. Firstly, what can we expect here?
No, thank you very much, and good morning to your viewers. The main focus of the program will be to engage the farmers with their challenges. We have already put together some programs that will be unveiling to them. But we think it's important that we engage everybody who's involved in the farming sector, so that when we prepare for our budget speech, we cover a lot of their challenges. The second area that we want to deal with, you remember that we had some floods about 2 years ago. So we want to respond to that, because most of the farmers have been complaining that they had a challenge in terms of their infrastructure. As you can see, we will be unveiling the Yellow Plant equipment, just to deal with that, deal with the infield road, and then dealing with the infrastructure, even including the issue of the dams. There are farmers that are complaining that they want to have dams so that they have water, so that they don't experience water shortages. We'll be doing that in-house. In fact, we are trying to build capacity to the department, so that we don't depend on this issue of tendering system, which takes a long time to respond. So if we get a complaint, we go straight to that farm with our own equipment and assist that farm that has complained.
MEC, a lot of farmers that I've spoken to in the past few days have complained about the fact that response has been very slow. I spoke to a farmer, as I was saying on air now, that she is completely despondent because she's had about 15 officials come to her farms and nothing has been done to date, and she has been forced to close down 2 of her farms. What's your response to this, the fact that farmers are saying the department is taking too long to respond to many of their issues?
That's why we're trying to insert some of the some of the issues that we respond to farmers with. Like, as I'm saying, we'll be unveiling this yellow plant equipment, so that if a farmer write to us or speak to us that we've got a problem in terms of roads, in terms of the infrastructure, then we respond with our own equipment, not because the process has been, if you come and report the matter, it will go through the SMC process, which might take a long time, more especially if there are disputes. So now that's why we're trying to build capacity within the department so that we don't have that long wait from farmers.
Thank you very much, MEC. That is the Agriculture and Rural Development MEC, Zuma, who was just unpacking the program for today. And some of the equipment that he spoke about that will be unveiled today, to my right, I'm going to ask my colleague, Gift Nkosi, to just show you those tractors that they will be giving to some of the farmers. And that's what they look like. This is some of the, the equipment that they speak about when they say they will be, giving some of those farmers. Small-scale farmers will also be given produce, depending on what kind of farming that they're doing.